What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is your man Pristine back with another video. Welcome to the Pristine review for the LG G7 Thin Q. Let's dive right in. So the price for the LG G7 Thin Q is $750. And one might ask, why would anybody pay such a high price for a device like this when there are other devices that you can get much cheaper, like the OnePlus 6, for instance, that's only going to run you $529, which is going to give you just as good as, if not a better, overall experience. Definitely, as far as snappiness and speed and power. It just kind of makes you wonder, But then again, if you're a fan of what LG is doing with their particular devices, then obviously $750 will be worth it to you. This phone is available carrier wide, and so if you don't have $750 to pony up altogether, then you can definitely go to one of your carriers, whether it be T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon. Correction. T-Mobile, Verizon, and Sprint are carrying the LG G7 Thin Q. Now, AT&T decided against it, and there's actually another LG device that is exclusive to AT&T, which is the LG V35 Thin Q, and it has all the updated specs: Snapdragon 845 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, I think standard 64 gigs of storage that can be expanded, all that kind of thing. Now, why AT&T decided not to sell the G7 Thin Q, I'm not sure. But if you are interested in the LG V35, you do have all the latest specs that are 2018 related. And if you hate the notch, if you do not like the notch, then the notch is not at all included on the exclusive AT&T LG V35 Thin Q. So that may be one that you guys want to take a look at if you just can't stand the notch, but you want a nice LG device. Basically, the G7 Thin Q and the V35 are very similar. It's just, take away the notch for the V35 and maybe a few other things. But I mean, spec for spec, I mean, they're pretty much identical. So there you have it as far as price. Now, again, specs: Snapdragon 845 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, not 6 or 8, 64 gigs of onboard storage. LG is claiming that this device can be expanded up to 2,000 gigabytes of storage. That's what LG is claiming. So all the latest flagship specs here in 2018. I was surprised that they still went with 4 gigs of RAM rather than 6 or 8, but nonetheless, I mean, that does nothing. 4 gigs of RAM is probably plenty as it is, and the phone just performs buttery smooth, as you would expect a flagship device to in 2018. So the build quality, I like the build. It's Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and back. And I figure if your device is going to be glass on the front and back, I like the fact that it's a very premium feel, and it's not as heavy as a lot of the other devices that are in its class, right? A lot of those devices, they may be a little bit heavier. They've got the glass on the front, the back, maybe a piece of aluminum sandwiched in between, which LG definitely does have on here, but yet it's a very lightweight device. I mean, it's got a little bit of heft to it, but it's not as heavy as some of the other devices that I have or that I have had. And so this thing is extremely comfortable to walk around with. And when you're holding it in the hand, it's not cumbersome at all whatsoever. It's thinner than a lot of devices. It's not as wide, and so it's a very, very, very comfortable hold in the hand. As you can see, the corners are rounded. I like that, because there's not going to be these jagged edges poking you in the palm of your hand, which could be uncomfortable after a certain amount of time of holding a device. And so I just feel like ergonomically, the phone is built beautifully. And so I am a huge fan of the build, and also given the fact that this phone is glass on the front and the back, we do have an IP rating of IP68 water and dust resistant for those of you who care about such a thing, and we also have wireless charging. Now, again, I mean that can be a determining factor to some. You know, I have a wireless charger and I use it frequently. And so whenever I get a device that has it, I'm excited about that. There's nothing wrong with plugging in, and you're still going to get a faster charge if you plug it in. But it's just the convenience of being able to just place your device down or sit it upright just like I have it here on the little stand. And as the phone is charging, you can still navigate, do what you need to do, answer calls, text messages, navigate through your phone, browse the web, all while it's charging without having to hold it in your hand. And so, that's very convenient. So I'm a big fan of the build. All right. Now the performance, as I mentioned, Snapdragon 845 processor, 4 gigs of RAM. Things are very, very, very snappy, as you would think that they would be on some of the latest flagship devices. I've got no complaints there. Definitely not as, it's fluid, not as fast and fluid as the OnePlus 6 per se. As I said, the OnePlus 6 is just a performance beast, and so that definitely is the standard to what you want to compare other devices to, but it's not far behind the OnePlus 6 at all as far as performance is concerned. I mean, you will definitely be happy with the performance of the OnePlus 6. I mean, everything is nice and buttery smooth. I haven't experienced any lag, any stuttering, any glitches, no pauses or stutters or anything like that. And so you definitely have a top performer with the LG G7 Thin Q here, and rightfully so. I mean, given the money that you're paying for it. And again, it's still cheaper than some of the other devices that are out there. Definitely cheaper than the OnePlus, or not the OnePlus, but the iPhone X, and other devices that are out there. But yeah, this phone, it is definitely a great performer. As I mentioned, things are buttery smooth, things are lightning quick. Again, it's a lot of it is going to depend on network. Speeds are going to be different if you're connected to an LTE network versus a Wi-Fi connection or vice versa. So, performance is good here on the LG G7 Thin Q. Now the the camera. Battery's coming after the camera. The camera is phenomenal here on the LG G7 Thin Q. A lot of what we saw that was introduced on the LG V30 is also present here and has been enhanced a bit for the LG G7 Thin Q. If you are someone like myself that is in the video, I run my YouTube channel just all off of cell phone cameras. I mean, so if that's you, or you just like photography period and you want one of the best photographic experiences on a smartphone, then definitely the LG G7 Thin Q is definitely one that you want to pick up. Okay, now we have a lot of knockoffs. LG originated the wide angle lens. Okay, somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. We have a lot of imitators out there that have the wide angle lenses, but those experiences, I'm not saying they're not nice, but they're not as nice. Excuse me, they're not as nice as it is here on the LG G7 Thin Q, or frankly any other LG device that has the feature. Okay, LG, for one, it gives you the ability to have this wide angle shot, crystal clear, very nice color reproduction, very little overexposure or none overexposure at all. I mean, it's just beautiful. Now I noticed that they did scale back a bit. Typically they go with 120-degree wide angle. On the LG G7 here, it's 107 wide angle view, which still is enough to get plenty in the shot. But I do like the fact that you are able to change from one lens to the other, from primary to wide angle on the fly, when you're recording. A lot of other devices that have a wide angle lens don't allow you to do that. You have to choose the primary or the wide angle lens before you start recording. So I like the fact that LG gives you the ability to change those different lenses on the fly. So if you just want wide angle done right, then you got to get an LG device. But not only that, they stepped up their camera performance. The primary camera is phenomenal. We got optical image stabilization. The front-facing camera has been enhanced from a 5 megapixel to an 8 megapixel finally, and it takes some really, really good photos. Now, if you don't believe me, just step on over to the dedicated camera video that I did for this device, simply titled LG G7 ThinQ / the camera, where I've got tons of selfies and rear camera photos, video samples for you to check out. And let me know what you guys think about the camera performance there. But this camera is definitely one of the top dogs in 2018 on the LG G7 ThinQ. All right. Now, battery. Now, we've got a 3,300 milliamp hour battery. And some of you may be shaking your head or scratching your head or just saying, like, why would they go with such a small cell? Well, pump your brakes. Don't just assume that just because it's a 3,000 milliamp hour battery that it's not a good performer. Now, I understand here in 2018, we're getting a lot of devices that are flagship caliber that have, bigger batteries, 3,500 milliamps, 3,740 milliamps, 4,000 milliamps, if not a little higher. And so you just expect for those devices to be top performers, and you would kind of think, or kind of smirk, at a device nowadays that has a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. But be mindful of the fact that the Snapdragon 845 processor is optimized very well to sustain battery life. And of course, as I mentioned in all my videos, a lot of this is solely dependent on what you're doing with your device and how you're using your device. That's going to be the tail of the tape. Okay, but for me, a moderate user as I am, I've had no problem getting through a full day and some on the 3,000 milliamps. Okay, no problem at all whatsoever. So just be mindful of that. All right, I do my own battery optimizations by keeping things turned off that I'm not using, and I'm a moderate user, and that tends to help out. Now, if you're more of a heavy user, then yeah, your battery is going to drain a little faster, but still you don't need to worry because fast charge is supported on this particular device, and your top-up speeds are very high. Not as high as the OnePlus 6, but you're still going to be able to get a lot of juice in a very short amount of time here on the LG G7 ThinQ. So I got to give the battery a thumbs up. Even though the battery isn't that big of a battery, it's still a good lasting battery. In my personal opinion, that's what it's been in my real world usage, my real world testing. That's what I've gotten from the battery. All right. So additional features. Well, for one of the main things that stands out for me is that wide angle lens. That's always been a cool feature, right? And it always will be. I love the fact that we've got a very snappy fingerprint sensor. I love the fact that we've got facial recognition, and I will display that for you guys here. And one of the main things that I love about this facial recognition is it's not one of those type of facial recognitions that you have to tap the screen to wake it up or click the home button or whatever, and the home button has been moved over here to the right of the device rather than the back. So the fingerprint sensor is just a dedicated fingerprint sensor. It is no longer a clicky button, okay? But when you turn the device off, have it flat, all you have to do is just hold the device up, boom, just like that, okay? Now I will pan the camera up so you guys can see that for yourselves. Okay, and LG originated the double tap screen off and screen on, and so I love that feature as well. So I'll just double tap to turn off the screen. Okay, the phone is now sitting on a flat surface, ladies and gentlemen. Now you will see I will pick it up and hold it eye level, and just like that, okay, if you missed it, double tap. Okay, here we go again. And it just opened just like that. And it works 100% of the time. Now, if you're not a fan of having your biometrics scanned and you want to secure and unlock your device, then no worries, because you got a lightning fast fingerprint sensor there. So you just give it a little tap and boom, it's open. You'll feel a little vibration indicating that you touched it just right. And so, boom, and there it is. Okay, just like that, ladies and gentlemen. So I love the double tap feature. I love the wide angle lens feature. I love the facial recognition feature. I love the fact that This 3.5 millimeter headphone jack also has the hi-fi quad DAC, the 32-bit hi-fi quad DAC, and I love the fact that LG is keeping that going for all the people that like to plug in. Now, I'm completely wireless, so this isn't really a big deal to me, but there has been some people that said that it even still makes a difference when with wireless because of the audio technology that's built into this device. And I notice anything that I click that I connect to via Bluetooth and listen to music with this device, I mean, it is just to me, it's beyond CD quality, man. You know what I mean? It is really beyond CD quality. But the fact that with this quad hi-fi DAC, any headphones that you plug in, it's going to bring out the best of those headphones, and you're going to enjoy and experience and hear everything. Everything. Another little feature that I like about this device is the enhanced bottom firing speaker. It's a little boombox speaker, y'all. Okay, and how it works is it already sounds really loud and clear if you're just listening to it, just listening to something. But where the magic happens is if you place this device on a hollow object, then it gives off enormous sound. Let me see if I can, cue something up here and display that for you. Hold up. All right, y'all. So, so here, let me set the thin Q here down for a second. And I went and grabbed a pair of shoes here. All right. Grab some of my Toms from my shoe collection. All right. Now, let's just take the little fluff out the box. Now, got a shoe box, hollow inside, right? Okay, so let me pull up something and all right, y'all, so I got a track pulled up on YouTube, copyright free music. This is a track called Heartbreak. My man Jay Will put me onto this, and this is a dope track, man. You know what I mean? So I got the volume turned up. Let's listen to it really quickly, just coming from the bottom firing speaker, just it being in my hand, and then I'll set it down on the box and see if we can tell the difference. All right? All right, here we go. Okay. See, that sounds real good, right? Like I said, the bottom firing speaker, I mean, it sounds amazing just by itself, right? Okay, but here, let's put it on the box. Did you guys hear the increase? Off the box. Man. Yeah. Man, that beat is dope. I like that. Shout out to my man Jay Will for putting me on this, man. Alright. So that's a dope feature, ladies and gentlemen. And it's interesting because you now have these little like hollow boxes and things that you can buy for other devices. I mean, so it's not just the OnePlus, OnePlus. It's not just the LG G7 here that does that. Now, it makes the speaker specifically for, being like this, giving you like this boombox type of effect coming from a phone, and then it's enhanced. It's enhanced once you place it on a box. But they got these little hollow devices that you can buy on Amazon. These little hollow boxes. I mean, I think they're like $12 or $13 or something like that. And you basically can set any phone on it that has a bottom firing speaker, and it will enhance the sound. Right? It's pretty crazy. But so those are some of my most favorite features on the LG G7 Thank you. Oh, and another thing, and I don't even know if this is a feature, but actually it is a feature. I love how with Optimus OS, which is LG Skin, right? How when you go to settings, you have the ability to have it in tab view, which is in, or you can have it in list view. Now this is list view. And a lot of people tend to like it in this particular view. And you can see, I mean, we've got Android 8.1 Oreo. I mean, so we've got that consolidated list, and that's cool, right? That's cool. But me, I am a fan of the tab view because here are all your categories right there. And if you want network, you just tap on network, and that's everything under the network category. Sound, that's everything under the sound category. Display, that's everything under the display category. And general, it's everything under your general category. It is, to me, a very, very simple way to find what you're looking for. I am a huge fan of that. And it's funny because a lot of people, they slam LG Skin, and I don't really know why. I'm a huge fan of it. You know what I mean? Let me know what you guys think of not just LG Skin, but the LG G7 as a whole. If you have this device, what are your thoughts about it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know. If you like it, why? If you hate it, why? If you like this video, y'all know what to do. Smash that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of more videos that I've done like this one. And definitely stay tuned because I've got so much more content on the way. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that you can always be the first to check out the content as it's uploaded. So therefore you won't miss a thing here at Pristine Mobile Tech. And you should also be the first to drop any questions or comments about any video regarding any device that you see here at Pristine Mobile Tech. All right? So you guys already know, please keep it safe, keep it pristine in everything that you do. Get spiritually fit because we're definitely living in the last days. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. This is the LG G7 Thin Q. I'm your man, Pristine. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.